Welcome to Sourcecast. I'm here with Rusty.
Hey.
And Swords.
Yo.
And this is obviously the first episode, so yay!
Yay!
Just in case this recording ever gets decapitated from the site, this is the first ever episode of Sourcecast, and hopefully not the last. And it's October, 7th, 2009?
Yep, October 7th.
Alright. Let's get to it.
So for today, we're just going to introduce some of the current sections for Sourcecast. We've got some current news on the site, a small number of projects to go through, some interesting current events going on, both on the site and in the real world, fan content, of course, and we've got the introduction of our mailbag, since you guys have been naughty and haven't sent us any mail. You need to send us mail. We want to read stuff from you.
Feed the mailbag. It's hungry.
Yeah, really. Sourcecast@gmail.com. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, current news. As you guys all probably already seen before, seen on the news on the site itself, the site has moved. But that consists of, if you remember before, we were on a Tim Duo host, from before, and from my understanding, there was some problems recently with Tim Duo. The site has its own host. We're hosting our own thing, so we're on our own domain, animationsource.org. Looks like it, and with that, Steve has implemented, with the excuse of the site move, Steve has implemented a lot of background upgrades to the site to make it run smooth, better, and overall just set it up for the inclusions of the Animation Source hub and any future source pages.
Yeah, like Spirit Source, which he has been talking about, and he hinted at that this may be the next site in the lineup of all of the Animation Source sites. There's not sure about if there will be any others soon, but we've got some hints about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Alright, moving on. Apparently with the site move, we've also come across a bunch of problems with some spam bots, as you might have noticed if you're frequent on the forums. Spam bots have been posting either anything from like advertisements for random junk to pretty inappropriate stuff. We're trying to deal with that in order to deal with that, we kind of disabled new members joining on the forums because we're not really sure where these guys are coming from. But so from what I can tell, they're decreasing and they're in number of occurrences because we've been banning all of them. But
basically,
what?
Sorry, but basically what had happened was, obviously, with any site update, any update to pretty much anything computerized, when you update something major, bugs tend to show their ugly face, and with regards to the bugs, to the bots, it's just bugs, holes opening up in the security from before.
Which has allowed all these spam bots to get through.
Exactly. And note that this doesn't mean that there will not be more spam bot postings, just because it has been fixed. No more bots will be joining the forums, but there will probably be some more posts by these same bots, because we haven't banned them all yet. We don't know which ones are actually going to be active, so it's just kind of a waiting game right now. As soon as they post, the topic will be deleted and the bot will be banned. Keep reporting them.
Essentially, the security is pretty much up now. It's just that all the bots that have gone in before the security, the new security went up, they're still inside. So we're banning them and clearing them out as they post. So their numbers are decreasing as we work.
All right.
That being said, use your going a little out of order with our notes. That being said, if you see any bot, just report it. Don't
be afraid to report it. Don't be afraid to report it. So.
Also, don't. They're bots. Two things about that. Do not reply to anything they say on the forums because they're not actual people.
They will not respond.
They will not respond. And another thing, for your safety, do not click on any of their links they have in there. Their signature.
There are some things on those links you probably will wish you hadn't seen.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not advertisements for like purses or stuff, they're advertisements for worse stuff. So yeah.
And you can always tell a bot if it's in the wrong section and it just looks like a completely bogus message, and if their username doesn't make any sense. Usually it's just a random combination of letters and numbers that doesn't even come close to being a name or a word.
Especially if the text is written in some other text. Like, we got a whole bunch of spam written in Russian. So, yeah.
Just be wary and keep an eye out for them and help us out.
Yeah. Believe me, don't assume we've already noticed it. We might not have.
And to that with the site move and the opening of security, one of the more recent additions is the TaleSpin Source. So we're glad to see another section to join Balto and Lion King Source.
Mm-hmm. And it's small right now, but we're really hoping that it will increase in size as more people start to visit. We are so happy to have an extra section with us now, and hopefully it'll just bring in lots more fans and just help us increase our popularity, become a nice big family sort of group, because that's what Balto Source was really meant to be, sort of a nice community of friends who try to get along. It's not always that way now, but it's meant to be a fun community.
It's the common interest is what the site's getting into. Common interest in animation, cartoons and stuff like that, and classic stuff too.
Yep.
So we're all here.
Yeah.
Okay, and also with all these things, if you see any bugs on the forums, any general bugs that might have come up from the updates and anything that's changing, just report them. Report them from the site and be specific about those, because we kind of need that information to fix them. And same thing with the forums. Aside from normal rule breakage and bending and stuff like that, report bugs you see there too.
Yeah, because that little exclamation mark button, the gray one that's all over the site on different pages, they have them next to the fanfictions, art, everything. It's not there just for show. Go ahead and click it. Yeah,
and especially take a look through the newer underdeveloped sections like TaleSpin Source, since it's relatively new. It's not perfect. Actually, the site itself isn't perfect, but make sure, find a bug, PM or email Steed or Togo, because they're the admins, or one of us if we're more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could pass that. We could pass that up to Steed or Togo.
Yep.
And congratulations to Togo for making administrator. We haven't said that yet.
Yep.
All right. So, a little bit of a public service announcement for you all. The mods are a small group of people, members on the site. And as you know, what our job is to kind of keep you guys safe and protected from rule breakage, and just moderate the site and make it enjoyable to stay. That said, though, you members are a part of the moderation process, as so are we. So we don't have a million eyes. I mean, there's almost 10,000 members, aside from the ones that haven't posted yet. But those are a lot of pairs of eyes. Help us find problems on the forums and report them.
We can't be everywhere at once.
We wish we could.
Just see anything, report it.
The same goes on the shout box too. If you don't know how to report on the shout box, because I know recently, or somewhat recently, I guess it was like early summer, that Steed updated the shout box to where it's a little different, and some of you might not have been on before since before he updated it. How you report somebody's message is you click on their name, and a little box will appear right above the shout box, and it'll have their icon, a copy of their message, a link to their profile, and you'll be able to see that little report button there next to their message. Go ahead and click that. That'll send a copy of that message to us, and it will also give you the option to fill in a reason. There's a drop-down reason box where you select what rule it's breaking, and then you have another box to explain why it is breaking the rule. Use that box.
And not just in the shout box. Anytime you report something, use that box, that text box. Be specific. It helps us a lot.
Because sometimes
no
you
idea
don't
how much of a trouble it is to figure out what's happening for ourselves when it's just a generic report.
Especially with like reports when they say other and like they put nothing. We can't tell what's wrong.
We can't always tell what you're thinking. So go ahead and explain it to us. Don't take that extra minute, because it'll save us about 30 minutes trying to research everything, find the message. Also, on the shout box, it only gives us a copy of that one message. We used to have a nice report system where it gave the messages from the last 5 minutes, I think it was. It doesn't do that anymore. We get one message. So go ahead and explain what's going on.
Yeah, we don't want to have to go through all the previous messages until we find yours and all the ones around it.
And that could be 5 hours later, so...
Yeah, give or take.
Basically, the general line is, help us help you.
Exactly.
Alright, so let's move on to the projects on the site and the forums. Obviously, this is Sourcecast, and you're listening to it, hopefully.
Yep.
We're still looking for a few people to help us out, mainly in the areas of some sound effects, some other sound bits, music.
Graphics.
Especially graphics.
Background stuff.
Yeah.
Background stuff.
Yeah.
And by joining, you give us reason to humiliate you on the Sourcecast itself at any given time, just to have fun. It's a fun job.
And we'll probably bring you on here to talk at least once or twice. We'll at least mention your name in the credits. Mighty Balto has made us a logo for now. It's kind of plain, but it's nice for now. It really is. It really is. We've got
you should see how it looks on the iTunes store. It looks pretty good.
It looks really professional there.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, Sourcecast is on iTunes.
Yep.
Yes. Just
And
search
Zencast.
Sourcecast. You'll come up with two results. One is we're of course the one that does not have the explicit label on it. That does not.
At least I hope not.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think we'd get a notification if they said your podcast has now been labeled explicit.
Yeah. Also, we're the one with the wolf avatar. I was looking for a picture to put on that would kind of denote us, and I didn't have a picture of Balto at the time, so naturally I just went with the one I had. It's that one brown and white wolf from the Wolf Quest.
Little comment before. You crazy Sourcecasters. Explicit. Explicit. You guys are crazy.
Also, so there's a sticky topic in the other section on the forums that has all this information on it. We've got a project page open on each of the Source websites. And again, our mailbag is open. We have an email at Gmail, which is obviously sourcecast@gmail.com. Or you can PM stuff to any of us. That's Rusty the Fox, Swords of the Wolves, or Aniu Caelestis. And yeah, that's a weird pronunciation. It's Latin, by the way.
But so
that's how you say your
name. If you've seen it, you know. If you've seen the name, you know which one it is. So
yeah, and again, we're on iTunes, YouTube, Rever. We're on My Podcast, which is a podcast host specifically set up. That's where we have our RSS feed through. And now we're on Zencast, so check us out at all those locations.